Okay, let's talk about one of the most useful functions in Excel for visualizing large amounts of data, which is called freeze panes. And we're going to look at another option here, which is called split. These are located inside the View tab. Now, if you remember, we have a lot of tabs on this ribbon. So if you want to go to freeze panes, what you do is you click here on View, and the commands are located here on the Window tab inside this little menu here. There's freeze panes and there's split. Okay, let me show you where these things are useful. Let's say that I have a spreadsheet like this one where I have a whole bunch of regions of the country which are covered by a chain of stores, and I have a whole bunch of stores in each region which is numbered from 1 to whatever. Now if I got this particular spreadsheet, I would probably send it back and say to someone, find a way to consolidate that data and give me the data in a way that I can understand it, because right here, if you look at all these numbers, you can't really understand anything. But that's pretty much beside the point. What I want to get into is this. See, I have these titles, the region code here and the stores here. Now watch what happens when I get to the end of the screen and keep scrolling. I lose the titles. So if I'm around here, I don't know if I'm looking at store 20, store 21, or whatever. And right here, I have no idea what region I'm looking into. So here's where the freeze panes option comes in really handy. Now, freeze panes is an operation that you do in Excel, and what it does is the cell that you have selected, it freezes everything above it and everything to the left of it. And it doesn't move when you move the rest of the screen. Let me show you. Freeze panes, I do freeze here, and I just froze. Remember, I was here on cell C5. I just froze everything above row 5 and froze everything above column B. Now watch what happens. I'm gonna start to scroll down, and if I keep scrolling down, I don't lose my titles. These titles here are frozen. Same thing if I scroll to the right. I'm not going to lose my column titles right there. See, just like that. And now I know perfectly that I'm looking at store 127 in region 109. And right here I'm looking at store 145 in region 123. How did I read that so quickly? Well, if you remember, Excel grays out the column number that you're looking at. So I didn't start reading up here. What I did was simply look up here on the bar to see which cell was gray, which is AU, and that turns out is store 145. Same thing here. Row 28 is grayed out, and this is region 123. That's what freeze panes is used for. How do you use freeze panes? Well, like I said before, what you do is you click on a cell, and when you activate the freeze panes command, Excel is going to freeze everything above where your cursor is and everything to the left of where your cursor is. So right here, I'm on C5. This entire range of columns is going to get frozen. This entire range of rows is going to get frozen, like here. Click on freeze panes and click on freeze. And here we go. They're frozen. If I want to remove the column freeze, well, it's also pretty simple. I can be standing anywhere on the worksheet. I don't necessarily have to be in the initial column and row. And what I do is I go up here to where it says freeze panes, click this drop down, and I select unfreeze panes. And that's gonna unblock my spreadsheet. And now it behaves just like it did before. See, right there. Now, one thing that many people don't realize about this is that Excel freezes everything above and to the left of where I'm standing in the way that it's currently visible. So that means that if this title here, 2017 sales figure projection, is visible, it's going to get frozen. But if it's not visible, it's going to get frozen so that it's not visible. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to scroll down. See, so right now the top row only contains the store numbers, and I'm going to scroll a little bit here, so that on my left side I have only the region code. And now I'm going to freeze the panes. Once again, click here, click freeze panes, and look at the way it freezes. Right now, top row is only titles, left side only region numbers. And it works just like before. Only right now, in this central area, I have a whole lot more space to view data on. Whereas before, since I had frozen it like this, if I freeze again, I have a lot less data visible. So if you don't need to be viewing these top rows and want more space, well, simply scroll them off before you freeze your panes. And you're going to have a lot more data visible. Okay, that's how freeze panes works. Now I'm going to show you another option, which is called split. I use this one a whole lot less, to be perfectly frank, but you might find it useful. What split does is it splits your monitor in a certain position, and it's like having two copies of Excel looking at the same thing at the same time. Some people find it more useful than freeze panes, others don't. But anyway, what you do is you click on a cell where you want your split to be. Your split's going to get placed above your selected cell and to the left of your selected cell. So what you do is I put my cursor here on store 107, and you click here where it says split. And there you go. You see these thick gray lines? That's your split. And your different areas of the screen start behaving independently. Right here, I can start scrolling, and it looks a lot like freeze panes, but watch what happens when I scroll up. See, when I scroll up, it didn't exactly freeze the pane. In fact, I can scroll here, and look, now I have 4 copies of this title. Like if I had 4 monitors looking at the exact same thing, like I said before. Now this split I can move left and right. I just click and drag like that. And I can move it up or move it down. So that's how the split works, and if I click it again, split goes away. Now I find that split is a whole lot less useful than freeze panes, but you can play around with it and see if you like it more or less than freeze pane, and see if in your particular case it's more useful than that other option. I mean, there's a lot of uses that you can have for Excel, and each use has its own particular characteristics, and some people might find that this option split works a lot better for them. So that's 2 options, freeze panes and split, that you can use to visualize your data more clearly, especially if you have a whole lot of data in Excel. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and to visit our website, cubicleoverlords.com, for more instructional videos like this one.